Hey y'all, this is Wi-Fi. Welcome to the InfoNation podcast. And today we are going to be talking about the withdrawal in Afghanistan because finally all of our people are out. Yay! Now, a lot of people have criticized the Biden administration, though here's the thing. It's okay if you don't agree that we should get out of Afghanistan. I get that. But all of the criticisms that I have seen from the mainstream media have been completely disingenuous. It's like there's nothing he can do to please the armchair quarterbacks on cable news. At first, it was all about, the translators. The translators that helped us out. And then when he gave them visas, that was solved. And we got them out of there for the most part. Then, after that, it was, oh God, there are still Americans left over there. Oh, so we got our Americans out, except there's about 200, the State Department estimates, 200 that are still left in the country. However, I would argue that because they had this warning to get out of Afghanistan for months, that they could have done so. So that does not really seem like something that President Biden is personally responsible for. Fourth, then you have the bombing, the tragic bombing that killed over a dozen of our members of our armed forces, which was extremely tragic. However, the perpetrators of that, I keep hearing people say, oh, it's Biden's fault or it's Trump's fault. No, it's not. Stop it. It's ISIS-K's fault. That is very short-sighted of you to claim it's either Biden or Trump in terms of that attack. And so, nobody's blood is on anybody's hands except ISIS-K. All right? So now that that's out of the way, the other criticism that I keep hearing is, oh, we left weapons over there. Yes, we did. We left weapons for the Afghanistan security forces who then surrendered to the Taliban. So, the weapons getting in the hands of the Taliban was not our fault. It was the Afghan security's fault. The government folded like a cheap suit. The president fled the country. The soldiers refused to fight the Taliban despite the years of training and the weapons and resources we had given them to form a new government. Even though our mission over there was never about nation building, it was about counterterrorism. And again, I have said many times that after we got Osama bin Laden, we should have been out of there stat. However, that is not the reality of the situation, and that is one of the things that I sincerely disagreed with President Obama and Trump on, was the need to continue interfering over there. I'm glad that President Biden at least has the sense to get our people out of an area that we don't really need to be in. So, anyway, that is the thing that we were talking about. What were we talking about? Okay. So, yeah, there's always a new thing to blame the president for, when in fact most of these events were either already set in stone or out of his hands. I mean, when does personal accountability come into effect? When it comes to, like, the Americans that are in Afghanistan right now. The State Department has been issuing warnings since January that Americans should leave the area. Now, why didn't they board a charter flight to Kabul International while the new government was in effect and while there were no Taliban in the country? Why didn't they leave then? When does personal responsibility come into effect here? I really want to know. Because some people seem to think that this is all Biden and his administration's fault. How? How is it his fault if there are 200 Americans over there when they could have left all this time? That's the thing here. I mean, I get being sad. I mean, it'd be one thing if they were, like, being held hostage or something, or there was, like, 200 hostages. I could really see why people would be mad about that. But these are not hostages. These are people that are there by choice. They could have chosen to leave the country while it was still safe. Instead, they decided not to. It's that simple. This is Wi-Fi. This has been my segment on Afghanistan. Thank you very much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.